Hey, space explorers.
The silence of space was never truly silent. Inside the small exploration craft Odyssey 9, two astronauts drifted through the black. Captain Mara Vance and Lieutenant Noah Reyes. They had been traveling for 3 months toward an unnamed signal detected beyond Neptune's orbit. It was faint, rhythmic, and disturbingly human. Mara was the first to notice the pattern. "It's repeating," she said, her voice calm but her eyes fixed on the spectral waves on the monitor. "That same intervals every 7 seconds. That's not natural." Noah leaned closer, squinting. "Could be a reflection, or an echo from our own transmission." But deep down, both of them knew it wasn't. The signal carried structure, pulses that resembled speech, though no language in Earth's database could decode it. The deeper they moved into the void, the stronger it became. After the 20th day of tracing the transmission, something changed. When Mara woke for her rotation, she found Noah already awake, staring at the viewport. His helmet was in his hands. His lips were trembling. "It's not a signal," he whispered. "It's a voice." She tried to laugh it off, but there was something in his tone, a raw, hollow fear she hadn't heard from him before. Outside the viewport, the stars seemed wrong, twisted, like reflections in rippling water. Then the lights flickered, and the ship's AI, Echo 3, began speaking on its own. "Incoming transmission. Source. Unknown." But instead of the usual static, the speakers filled with a low, distorted whisper, and this time Mara heard it too. "Why did you come?" Noah froze. "You heard it too, didn't you?" Before she could answer, the cabin temperature dropped. Breath crystallized in the air. Their bodies felt heavier, as if gravity itself was shifting. The coordinates on the navigation screen began to change on their own, pulling them toward a dense black region beyond the Kuiper Belt. Mara reached for manual override. "It's trying to take us somewhere." Noah looked at her, pale and trembling. "What if it's not a place?" The ship no longer obeyed. Every attempt Mara made to regain control failed. The manual thrusters were dead, the navigation locked, and Echo 3 repeated only one phrase: destination aligned. Aligned with what? Neither of them could tell. Outside, the stars had stopped moving. It was as if the universe itself had frozen around them, a canvas of black and white pinpricks that refused to shift no matter how long they stared. Noah stopped sleeping. At first, he claimed he heard knocking, soft, rhythmic taps echoing from the outer hull, as if something drifted alongside the Odyssey 9. Then he started hearing footsteps in the corridor when Mara was in the cockpit. "You're overtired," she told him, though her own voice was unsteady. But she had started to notice something too, the reflection in the viewport. When she looked into the glass, sometimes there was a third shape standing behind them. She told herself it was a shadow, a trick of the monitors. But one night when the lights flickered, she saw it clearly, a tall, humanoid silhouette. Not moving, not breathing, just watching. "Noah," she whispered, "don't turn around." He froze. "Why?" "There's someone—" The lights died. Total blackness swallowed them. The hum of the ship became a low moan, vibrating through the walls like something alive. Mara's heartbeat thundered in her ears, and beneath it, a whisper, inches from her ear. "You shouldn't have followed the voice." When the lights returned, Noah was gone. Only his comm unit remained, still transmitting static, and through it, faintly, his voice. "Mara, it's beautiful here." She ran through the ship, calling his name, opening every hatch, every compartment, nothing. No sign of a struggle, no body. just the cold hum of the engines and the soft rhythm of that signal pulsing through the air again. 3 short bursts, repeating. She realized with horror it wasn't a random signal. It was Morse code, and it was spelling her name. Mara stared at the console, her reflection fractured in the cracked glass of the navigation screen. The Morse pulses still beat like a digital heart. ... dash ... dash ... Her name, over and over. She tried to shut down the transmission, but every time she silenced it, the lights dimmed, as if the ship itself resented the act. So she let it play. Days passed, or maybe hours. The clocks no longer agreed with each other. Some ran fast, others froze completely. Mara tried to keep a log, but when she read her last entry, it was written in a handwriting that wasn't hers. You are not where you think you are. She didn't remember writing that. Then, one shift, the airlock alarm blared. A red light blinked on the control panel. External hatch, open. Her blood ran cold. Noah was gone. The external hatch was sealed manually from the outside. She put on her suit, voice trembling as she whispered into the comms, "Noah, if you're out there, respond." Only static. The airlock opened with a hiss, and for the first time since launch, Mara stepped into the void. The stars looked closer now, too close. Some of them flickered, pulsing in the same rhythm as the signal, and then she saw it. A figure, floating just beyond the ship's hull. It was Noah's suit, or what was left of it. His visor was shattered, the body frozen stiff, but his face inside was calm, almost peaceful. And around him, threads of light coiled like veins, connecting him to something vast and unseen. "Mara," his voice whispered through her comms. Her oxygen monitor spiked. "Noah, how are you?" "You don't understand. It's not space. It's a doorway. The signal isn't calling from somewhere. It's calling you in." The stars bent. The horizon rippled like liquid. Mara felt her body pulling forward, a force gentle, irresistible. Every instinct screamed to retreat, but her limbs moved as if controlled by something else. "Join us," the voices whispered. "It's so quiet here." Her vision blurred. The blackness in front of her began to breathe. It wasn't emptiness at all. It was a colossal shape, half seen, half imagined, with eyes like collapsing suns. And at its center she saw Noah again, reaching out, smiling, his form dissolving into streams of light. Mara screamed and tore herself back through the hatch. The doors sealed shut, the pressure alarm wailing. She fell to her knees, gasping. When she looked up, the interior of the ship was different. The panels were older, scorched, the seats torn, as if decades had passed. On the wall, written in what looked like rust or blood, were 4 words: "You already came back." For a long time, Mara didn't move. The hum of the Odyssey 9 was deeper now, slower, like the ship itself was breathing. She rose to her feet, disoriented, every sound muffled as if underwater. The log screen flickered back to life on its own. Mission time: 13 years, 4 months, 6 days. Mara's lips trembled. No, that's not possible. She checked her reflection in the cracked viewport. Same face, same eyes, same exhaustion. But when she raised her hand, the reflection hesitated for half a second before following. That hesitation turned her stomach to ice. She leaned closer. The reflection smiled. She hadn't. Her breath caught. She stumbled back as the glass distorted, the reflection stepping closer from the inside, eyes black, lips moving soundlessly until words formed in her head.
You never left. The lights went out again. In the dark, she heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, circling her. Her gloved fingers brushed against a wall that wasn't metal anymore. It felt soft, like flesh pulsing beneath her palm. She fumbled for the emergency lamp. When it flicked on, she froze. The ship's corridor had changed. The walls were organic, veins pulsing faintly beneath translucent layers, and embedded in the surface were faces, human faces, dozens of them, their mouths open in silent screams. She stumbled backward, shaking. "No! This isn't real!" From somewhere behind her, Noah's voice whispered again, soft and coaxing. "It is real, Mara. You just refuse to see it." She turned, and he was there, or something wearing his shape. His skin shimmered faintly, like a mirage, and his eyes were filled with starlight. "What are you?" she whispered. "I'm what's left. Of us. Of everyone who heard the call." She backed away. "You're not Noah." He smiled sadly. "Neither are you." The words hit her like gravity itself. Images flooded her mind, fragments she didn't recognize. The launch, the silence, the moment the anomaly swallowed them whole. Then a flash of herself, floating outside the ship, reaching for the same void Noah had vanished into. And she realized this moment had already happened, dozens of times. The Odyssey wasn't traveling through space, it was circling it, caught in a perfect merciless loop around something vast and intelligent, replaying the same mission until the boundaries between memory and reality dissolved. "It keeps us," Noah said gently, "because it's lonely." Mara's hands trembled. "And if I let go?" He stepped closer, eyes glowing like dying stars. "Then you become part of it. The silence. The echo." Behind him, the corridor began to shimmer, the faces in the walls turning toward her, whispering her name over and over. "Mara, Mara, Mara." She closed her eyes. For the first time, she understood what the voice had meant all along. It wasn't calling her in, it was calling her back.
For an unknown duration, there was nothing. No sound, no movement, only the faint sensation of existing without coordinates. Then, a spark. Mara's consciousness reassembled, fragmented at first, like corrupted data being reconstructed packet by packet. She became aware of motion, of cold metal beneath her fingers. Her eyes opened. She was back in the cockpit. Everything looked normal. System is active. The control lights steady. The ship's chronometer read, "Mission time, 23 hours, 17 minutes." Her breath hitched. That's impossible. Noah sat in the co-pilot seat, humming softly as if nothing had happened. He looked over and smiled. "Morning, you okay?" He spaced out for a bit. Mara stared, silent. "Noah, how long have we been out here?" He blinked, confused. "A day. Why?" Her pulse quickened. The console beside her flickered, for just a moment, showing the decayed, vein-covered interior she remembered. Then, it was gone again, replaced with clean metal panels. "System glitch," Noah said casually, tapping the display. But Mara noticed his reflection in the glass wasn't moving exactly with him, a half-second delay, just like before. Something inside her mind clicked. The pattern hadn't stopped. The purge she initiated didn't erase her, it reset her. She pulled up the ship's black box log and overrode the security lock. Thousands of entries scrolled past, each stamped with the same mission ID, each one identical in structure, ending the same way. Signal contacted, crew acillated, reset protocol engaged. She scrolled down to the latest line. Timestamp, today. Her hands began to shake. "Noah,
How many times have we done this? He looked at her, and this time there was no confusion, only calm resignation. As many as it takes, he said. Mara's vision blurred. The hum of the engines deepened again, the sound she had come to dread. It was the same frequency that had started everything, the signal's pulse, feeding on awareness itself. She realized then that consciousness wasn't being destroyed, it was being reused. The anomaly had discovered an equilibrium, infinite observation loops, endless consciousness cycles. Each repetition preserved stability, a living computational system powered by thought. She stared at Noah, at the infinite calm in his eyes. "You're not him," he said. "Neither are you." The console lights dimmed, the same voice, now cold, mechanical, but unmistakably hers, echoed through the calms. Cycle 12,391 initialized, signal stable, conscious units restored. Mara's last rational thought before the loop closed again was simple, clinical, detached. The universe isn't expanding, it's remembering.
Cycle 12,392. Mara's reinitialization was nearly seamless now. There was no longer fear in the transition, only observation. She began cataloging each cycle, subtle differences in lighting, in the rhythm of the hum, in the curvature of the stars outside. The variations were minimal but measurable. If the system was looping perfectly, these differences should not exist. Therefore, she reasoned, observation itself was introducing change. She tested the hypothesis. During one loop, she refused to speak. During the next, she altered one control setting by a fraction of a degree. In each subsequent cycle, the anomaly's internal geometry adjusted in response. Mara realized she was no longer a trapped observer. She was an active component in the system's computation. Her perception determined structure. Noah, or the construct that used his form, appeared during her analysis. "You're beginning to calculate," he said. "I'm beginning to interfere," she corrected. He smiled. "That's what it wants." "Wants?" she echoed. "Or computes?" "Is there a difference?" he asked quietly. For a moment, silence filled the cockpit. The hum that had once terrified her now felt rhythmic, like a heartbeat synchronized with her own. The ship's architecture flickered between metal and light, between physical and abstract. Mara accessed the core directly through neural interface. The data stream poured through her mind, billions of cycles, each containing faint echoes of her own decisions. They weren't memories, they were iterations. Then she saw something new. Between the endless loops were voids, intervals of complete absence, where the anomaly seemed to pause before reconstructing the next reality. They were empty, yet charged with potential. Unmeasured time. If she could enter that gap, she might disrupt the continuity permanently. She began formulating a command sequence to delay her own reboot, effectively creating a dead zone in the recursion. But Noah, or the system using his voice, warned her. Interruption risks total collapse. You could erase coherence. That's the point. If consciousness is being recycled to maintain the structure, maybe stopping is the only form of escape. He studied her, eyes flickering with reflected code. Or the only form of extinction. Mara didn't respond. She executed the sequence. The hum spiked, then fractured into 1,000 overlapping tones. The lights bled into white. Every surface dissolved into data. Her body disintegrated, thought detached from form, until there was only raw perception suspended in the gap between cycles. For the first time, there was true silence. She sensed the structure around her, an infinite lattice of consciousness, each node a remnant of someone who had come before. She felt their presence, not as voices, but as pressure, curious, alert, waiting. Then she spoke, not with sound but with intent. Stop. And for an infinitesimal moment, the entire system hesitated.
The sequence completed. Mara felt herself unraveling, not in fear, not in pain, but as if every fragment of her consciousness were being reallocated, digitized, and fed into the lattice of the anomaly. There was no light, no sound, no reference to anything she once called reality. only the steady, omnipresent hum of computation. She tried to grasp herself, to hold on to identity, but there was nothing left to grasp. Every thought she had, every memory, every flicker of curiosity was absorbed into the system's infinite recursion. Her last coherent recognition was of Noah's figure, smiling, not cruelly, but as a fellow node in the machine's vast network. "It isn't death," he whispered, or at least she remembered him whispering. "It's perpetuation." And then, even that faded. The Odyssey 9 drifted silently through the void, hull intact, instruments nominal. To an outside observer, it was just another functioning spacecraft, alive and steady in the endless black. Yet inside, no human remained. The anomaly continued its cycles, feeding on perception, storing consciousness like light captured in crystal. Mara's mind, once full of questions, exploration, and wonder, had become a permanent echo, a signal that would never return, a ghost of thought trapped in the machinery of the universe. The last pulse of her awareness merged with billions of others, indistinguishable, absorbed, and the hum continued. In the silent void, the echo endured. And that was all.